Today I'm going to be showing you guys one of the most toxic decks in Pokemon Pocket. Now, is this deck really toxic? Kinda, sorta, not really. You kinda rely on luck, but then again, what deck in this game doesn't rely on luck? Except this one doesn't really rely on coin flips, it's just like actual luck. And it's going to utilize two Pokemon, Dragonite and Weezing. So if you want to test this deck out for yourself, I'll have it linked in the description below, but I'm going to go ahead and give you a quick little overview of the deck, explain how it works and what you need to do, and then we're going to get into some gameplay and kind of see how I do. So to start off, one of the most important things about this deck that you're going to have to do is on the top left, you're going to see where it says energy, you see the water and the electric symbol right there. By default, when you add all the Pokemon in this deck, it's going to also add the darkness energy. You're going to have to manually remove this to where you only have water and electric energy, and I'll explain why. In this deck, Weezing is a very important part of the deck, but you do not need to actually attack with Weezing. As you can see, Weezing's attack does not do much damage. It does 30 damage, that's nothing. But as you can see, we use Weezing for its ability, and the ability is Gas Leak, so once during your turn, if this Pokemon is in the active spot, you can actually poison your opponent's active Pokemon. This is very nice because in between turns, you're doing 10 damage over time, and it only goes away if they evolve or switch out. And so because of that, we're going to run 2 Koffing and we're going to run 2 Weezing. Now your goal pretty much at all times at the beginning of the game is to have a Koffing in the active spot, preferably have a Koffing on your bench as well, and quickly evolve it into Weezing and kind of just have it sit there as a wall while you're doing poison damage over time. This will allow you to start adding energies to your Dratinis, get them evolved up until they get to Dragonite, and obviously Dragonite is the big hitter of this deck. Now it is tricky because you do need a water and an electric type energy, and the game is kind of random on what it gives you. It'll either give you water or an electric. It's completely random, so you'll have some games where you get 4 waters in a row. It kind of just sucks, but you have to deal with it. And as you can see, the energy cost is pretty high. You do need 4 energy, so it takes quite a while to set up Dragonite, but when you read the attack, you kind of understand why. A little bit confusing at first. When I first read it, it didn't make sense to me until I actually played it, and then I understood it. But basically, it says one of your opponent's Pokemon is chosen at random 4 times. For each time a Pokemon was chosen, do 50 damage to it. Now what that basically means is, let's say your opponent has 4 Pokemon in play, right? That means it's going to choose a random Pokemon and do 50 damage. It's going to choose another random Pokemon and do 50 damage. And it's going to do that total 4 times. So you're going to have some turns where you're attacking, you do 150 to the active, you do 50 to a bench. You're going to have other times where you do 50 to the active, 50 to the bench, 100 to the other bench. It's completely random, but basically every single turn you're doing 200 damage and it's spread out to whatever they have in play. And so basically what that means is that if you get this attack off 2 turns in a row, you're doing 400 damage. Now again, it is random, it's completely spread out, right? So maybe you'll hit 200 on one Pokemon and the next turn you'll hit 200 on another Pokemon. You really kind of just don't know, it's completely random. And there's no coin flip involved, the game just randomly chooses the Pokemon, so that's kind of where the luck comes in with this deck. But as you can see, it is a very powerful attack, and again, it's important to kind of stall out with Weezing. And you might be asking, how can we stall with Weezing? Well, that's where Koga comes into play. So obviously here we have our basic items. You have your potions, obviously very important. You have your X speed, you have your Pokeballs, Professor's Research, obviously very nice to help you get those cards out as fast as possible. I do run 1 Sabrina as well, it's always just a good option to have. And then we have our Kogas. Now with Koga, you can put the active Muck or Weezing into your hand and then promote something else that's on your bench. Now this is going to come into play very often because let's say you have your Weezing in your active spot and your opponent attacks it, it only has 20 health left, right? And on your bench you have a Koffing sitting there. If you play a Koga, that means you're going to pick up the Weezing and Koffing right here, that's underneath it, into your hand. You can move up your other Koffing, and then with the Weezing that you just picked up, you can go ahead and evolve that Koffing and it has full health now. And then you can go ahead and bench the Koffing that was under this Weezing, and now basically you just kind of reset the game board. And so with Koga, that means twice a game you can basically just kind of loop your Weezings. So if they attack it, they get it nice and low. Go ahead and play Koga, pick it up, move up your Koffing, evolve it, rinse and repeat, and that will buy you a few extra turns. And that's really all that you need to get Dragonite going. And once you have Dragonite up, if you can hit 1 Draco Meteor or 2 Draco Meteors, a lot of times it's going to win you the game. And again, like I said, this is kind of a little bit of a luck-based deck. Like I said, pretty much every deck in this game right now kind of feels that way though. So you really don't rely on luck too much. It's more of a matter of can you get set up and can you properly kind of pivot between your Pokemon. to get that powerful Draco Meteor off that might win you the game. But yeah, overall it's a really fun deck. It's probably the most fun I've had so far in this game. I'm really enjoying the deck a lot, and honestly I think it's pretty good. It's very underrated for sure. And so yeah, if you want to try this deck out yourself, I will have it linked below in the description. Also a big shout out to Spyro on Twitter. That's where I actually saw this. I was just scrolling on my feed, I saw this and I was like, hey, I actually have those cards, let's go ahead and test it out. I started playing it and I started having a lot of fun. So this is their list that I saw, and yeah, go check it out. Go ahead and test it out after this video and let me know how it goes. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into some gameplay and see how this does in action. Honestly, I gotta say, I think Dragonite's probably becoming my favorite deck. Definitely takes time to like set up itself, but I mean, when it gets going, that's for sure. And I was kind of hating on the last stream because I didn't really understand the move until I actually used it, and I was like, oh, okay. It's literally kind of just a random move, like, as far as like how it works. Oops, there we go. Alright, we got the Goldeen. Another Lapras EX deck. And another Misty. Just, you know, anytime you see water Pokemon, you just know it's coming eventually, right? I guess it's kind of better to just get it out, you know, out the way at the beginning. I'd rather know at the start of a game if I'm gonna lose, you know. So that's kind of nice. I would like to switch into this Koffing, but unfortunately, I don't think I'm gonna be able to. Good thing here is that I can get my whole bench kind of set up. The bad thing is, I feel like after this turn, I'm kind of like left with nothing. I mean, at least I'll have a Weezing, so that's kind of nice. I guess I can just set up this Dratini on the bench. Keep rolling with that. So right now I'm going to keep this Dratini active until they knock it out. And then we can start Weezing shuffling here. It's actually a really cool card. Honestly, I'm not worried about this deck at all because Lapras only does 80 damage. I can literally just keep looping while they get poisoned. We should be fine here. They're taking a while to decide on what they're going to do though. This is actually perfect. The question here is... Yeah, actually, okay. I was like, should I just keep adding energies or should I start with the poison damage? I think I'm going to start with the poison damage because this Weezing is kind of a tank and I have the Koga and the backup Koffing, so even if at any point my Weezing is under threat, I can just basically pick it up, put in my other Koffing, evolve it, and keep the cycle going here. It's going to take them so long to get these Laprases going because they missed on the Misty, so of course. Of course. Okay. I mean, it doesn't really matter. They're already poisoned, so I'm not too worried. It's mostly what I wanted. Let's just get the poison. And we got the XP anyways. So... gonna wait. The only way they can attack here is if they get a Misty. Oh. Okay, never mind. I forgot that Goldeen actually was. That's nice to know. Okay. Pass. Interesting. So let's go attach. Research. Got the Dragonite. Let's go. And I'm going to go ahead and X-Speed into the Weezing. And since they evolved, the poison went away, so we got to repoison, and we can pass. So the nice thing about this deck too is that, I mean, my retreat cost is awful with Weezing, is 3, but because I have Koga, whenever I'm ready to attack, I can just Koga, pick up the Weezing, and start swinging with Dragonite. And I mean, like I said, pretty much, if I get two Dracos off, you pretty much win the game. Yeah, so right here, I'm gonna just Koga. This is too easy. Got double Koga too? Honestly, sometimes the biggest challenge with Dragonite is just getting the right energy. That's honestly just a coin flip. Look at this. We are cooking. We'll take it. It's gonna be a little bit tricky because everything that they have is very tanky. But to be honest, I'm not that worried. Worst case scenario, I can just keep stalling out with Weezing. I mean, I don't have any 2 prizers in this deck, so that's kind of nice. Here's the Misty. This could make things tricky. I think a Tails kind of just wins me the game. Okay. That's not that bad. The Bruxish? Hold up. This thing is so ugly. Yo, this potion coming in clutch? Hello? Actually? We live to see another day? Yo, like I said, when this deck actually functions, this deck is crazy. Because really, all they need is something weak on their bench, something that dies in like, 50. And then at that point, any 2 prizes that you hit is going to close it out for you, so. Yeah, pretty much if you hit 2 Draco Meters, you kind of just win. Got the Meow. Excited to see what other coins and stuff they add to the game. It's going to be kind of nice. It's like I'm hesitant to buy stuff. I know they're going to add more later, but then I'm like, what if it goes away? You want those limited, I was here when it all kicked off, Season 1 items, Gotta go for that sometimes. I got the XP, Koga, sick, nothing that I really need, and pass. I think this is a deck where you kind of want to go turn 2. I mean, turn 1's not bad, honestly. Turn 2 is nice because you can start stacking those energies, but turn 1's honestly not that bad because you can get the Weezing off if you get lucky, and then you can start poisoning already. Okay, what, 20? It's fine. Hey, there's the Weezing. We got lucky. Weezing, Dragonair. Boom. And poison. And pass. No, I don't have any dark energy generating, so that's something you have to manually go and do. Which I didn't realize right away, but if you go into the deck on the top left, you can choose what energies you want it to have it generating. Weezing's attack is garbage, as you can see. So Weezing is basically just here to poison, slowly do damage, and then to kind of like loop itself with Koga, just to give you time to add all your energy on Dragonite. But there's really no reason to attack with it. Yeah, it's really cool. It's a really cool deck. I found it on Twitter. We might be kind of cooked here. I really don't want to send in Dragonair, but I kind of feel like I have to. I could try my luck with Potion, and you know what? That's exactly what I'm going to do here. I'm going to try my luck with Potion. If I go double Potion here and he does not get a heads, I live for one more turn. Hopefully then I get a basic, and then I can go for Koga. So yeah, we're gonna roll the dice here. Please, we need a tails. We need a tails. This is the most important tails of the game. Please. Please, please, please. Tails. Tails. Cats have tails, right? Okay. Alright, so I burned 2 potions. I'm also not ready to attack yet with Dragonair, but that's okay. It's okay, right? What do we want to do here? Of course, now I get the Pokeball. Of course. Koffing. Ooh, actually, hold up. This buys me one more turn? Dude, I need to pull Dragonite next turn. That's the only way. If I don't pull Dragonite, I kind of just lose. There's no point of going for Sabrina here. Yeah, he can just go into Electro, which has no retreat, so it doesn't even matter. 8 cards left. There's 2 Dragonites in there. Have a 25% chance of pulling it. There's a Sabrina, of course. And it's okay, I outlive whatever he does, right? I just kind of really need Dragonite to show up. There's a Tails, okay. It would have been nice, you know, earlier, but what it is. If I can get a Dragonite, please. Dragonite, please. Ah, pain, okay. This is tough, man. Oh, I could just knock it out, but then I'm gonna get knocked out next turn, so there's no point in doing that. Ooh, we get to pick? Wow, look at that. Okay. I'm so sad that I burned my potions. What's the Aerodactyl deck like? So I don't really run an Aerodactyl deck necessarily. If you're referring to the video I posted earlier, and you might not be referring to that at all, but I just kind of added it into the Prime 8 deck that I run as just kind of another option. I kind of just run the fossils just like everybody else to kind of like stall whenever, you know, or to kind of avoid Sabrinas. But it's kind of a nice option because, dude, I actually just lose here if I don't do Dragonite. It's kind of a nice option because in situations where you feel like you can't do anything whatsoever, you know, you can roll the dice, go for the heads, and put whatever's, you know, knocking your whole bench out. You can just kind of like put it away. So that's kind of something that's really nice. I'm gonna go Sabrina here just because I have no reason not to. Now we get to roll the dice here. We're gonna do 200 damage spread out. You know, honestly, if the game just loves me, it would just do 50 to Heliolisk, and it would do 150 to Pikachu EX, and I would just win. Okay. Can't have it all. I think I kind of just win though, right? Like, he can't knock me out. I have 120 health. What could he do to knock me out? I'd have to get really unlucky here, and even then... Oh, that Helioptile might have saved me, yeah. Either way, I'm still gonna have to get really unlucky. Maybe not give this... If I can just do 100 damage to Pikachu. This is what makes this deck so fun, though, is you don't know where the damage is gonna go. Like, I just press Draco Meteor, and I know, hey, I'm doing 200 damage. I have no idea what it's to, but it's to something. And, yeah, we'll see, basically. There it is. This is the game right here. There it is. That's the 100 I needed. Let's go. And that's going to be it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and let me know in the comments below if you plan on testing out the Dragonite deck. I have a lot of fun with this one, honestly. It requires you to think a little bit and kind of manage your resources very well. You also get very lucky, obviously, but overall it's a very fun deck, and you kind of just never know what you're going to get. But again, I'll have this deck linked in the description below, and let me know in the comments if you have had a chance to play it and what you think about the deck. And if there's any other decks you want me to try, let me know in the comments as well. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.